Illyria. The mists tried to clear. My feet were moving across the land, but I was sitting silently in the midst of dreams, shadows exploring the places that sunlight missed in its enthusiasm to robe everything in light. Illyria was looking at something, but I knew she could only imagine what she was seeing. She knew something was in the spaces she stared into, but lack of experience regarding the unfamiliar imagery clouded any perception she might have, and so she only knew that the void before her was somehow a fullness. Her heart suddenly grew tender and began to drink the golden light of morning, stealing also the sparkling dew and weaving a tapestry of beauty as she sang a song of awakening. I knew now that she had called me forth from my world into a realm of dreams that was somehow a greater reality. She gazed sadly out into the world, her eyes flooded with tears, for she saw the transient nature of all, realised how futile our games are as we shut out of our minds the inevitable. We go through life as if we are eternal in this personality. I saw the mark on her neck, the line that ran the circumference, and I remembered. I told her that there was something within us that did not die. If you listen in silence, you can know it. Without resorting to books or teachers, it just is. She said she didn't want to die again. She remembered the fear, but afterwards all had faded into oblivion. Now she was here again, with a memory of the closing moments of her last life, but nothing beyond. Now she was here again, afraid of what lies ahead. Are we condemned to return to earth again and again just to suffer? She looked at all those passing by outside and wept, because she knew in 100 years not a one would be here. All disappeared into the emptiness. But there was the beauty of love somewhere deep in her eyes. A story unfolding gently, a tale that would steal away the fear eventually. Her heart breathed a hope that would spread through my soul and animate the very cells of my being. Then the rain fell. It was a quiet symphony, a comforting sound robed in melancholy. She told me she was searching for someone through the years, someone lost, but her heart was forever longing for that space to be filled. She sensed the time she was taken away from all she loved. She remembered the sadness as the rope was placed around her neck. She knew she was hated for her beauty. But the time was past, and only forgiveness and love remain. At times, it is as if you were 1,000,000,000 miles from here. Then you are right there in my mind, shining brightly than any light, almost as if the gates of heaven had opened for me. Perhaps I should go through, but something is always calling me, a shadow self that will not let me recollect the moments that were magical, will not let my soul sing to you. There is an emptiness that refuses to be filled, though I am at the side of a cooling lake of pure water. And though I feel her sadness, I know that I cannot lift it. I can just watch the way the setting sun softens the lines of her face and lightens her eyes with a kaleidoscope of colours, and see how her tears become jewels sparkling in the patiently growing sunlight. It is a wonderful mystery how the eyes seem to lead into other worlds, can transform the observer like some divine alchemy, and pour into one's heart a transforming and regenerating love. What I saw in Illyria's eyes I can never explain, but it drove me into the wilderness of my being where no rest could be found. It made me feel that I was not of this earth, and that the feelings I had had not yet been explored on this planet, or if they had, I could not speak of them. I think that is probably right. We have within us this longing to return to an unspeakable place. We are all exiles. They were deep emotions that escaped the confines of my conditioned mind and soared into the endless blue skies of eternity. I dreamed that we flew together, hand in hand, and talked of things that made our spirits shine. We saw such lovely sights, so that they only remain as sacred images in my mind, vague and fleeting, but incredibly uplifting. But there was a communion that defied time and any kind of limitations. Our souls spoke and our senses listened, as if perfumed by a divine incense. You said you understood that we were communing in a world beyond time and space, and we had been like this forever, and it would never end, though the darkness of oblivion would shroud our physical selves. And in the stillness, I heard the sound, the song of life. When I turned, you were smiling. You heard it too. You no longer had a form, I recognised. You were a star in my universe, guiding me through all the pains and heartbreaks of life. My shadow self had faded as your radiance touched me and engulfed me. You may have seen me in the same way. But the song somehow was within our hearts as well as in the universe, and we knew something that would never be told, never be framed in human language, for fear it would be so desecrated. It was sacred, holy, and good. The light of an everlasting day was entangled in our dreams. Nothing less than hope filled our senses, and the silence that dwelt beyond beginnings consecrated our very beings. Tears of golden flames spread throughout the universe that we had made, a universe softened by the love you nurtured in your heart for all things. Everything became magical, and the smile touched all, until there was a joy arising from the depths of the ocean of life. The stars lightened. A positive energy boosted the quality of existence. I awoke. It was dawn. The birds were singing their hymns to spring. I dressed and walked out into the sunlight. I could hear the ocean in the distance. I needed its comfort, so I made my way along the sun-dappled path through the woods and into the meadowlands where cloud shadows scuttled across the ground before me. The sky was so blue and everything was crystal clear. I felt so tranquil here. The air was warm and the breeze so gentle on my face. I saw light dancing in sparkles on the water and the seagulls cried a prayer to heaven. I closed my eyes to absorb the beauty. When I opened them, all was dark again. I was in my bed, and the cold winter howled about my bedroom window. I could sit here and talk to you forever, far away from the drabness of day-to-day life. Am I living in two worlds at once? When I close my eyes, in sleep, I open them in a better world, where I feel no pain, no anger, no jealousy, no fear, just a calm resting in what I am, when freed from all constrictions. And all the people I lost in the real world are still alive, and I see and talk to them as if nothing ever happened. Here there is no death, it has no validity, and yet there is an intense feeling of melancholy as the final day in this life approaches and you prepare to bid farewell. People walk the streets. They become children of the light. No matter who they are, what their situation, they blossom and they sing a silent song that touches my soul. Time passes. All is evanescent, but the moment lasts forever. Live in that moment, that beauty frozen in time, The moment you heard the skylark sing as it soared into the heavens, the moment you saw the first flower of spring or held your breath at sunset, or perhaps when you looked into someone's eyes and knew they were much more than the world would have us believe. There are no veils when our hearts open to beauty and to the light that is a silent alchemy in our hearts. Yes, we must enter the clarity that the endless sky brings to us, drown in the warmth of a day filled with golden light, understand the transformation that this light brings to us inwardly and outwardly. This is our talisman in dark times. There is beauty everywhere if we look for it, because the real beauty is within us. We can become beauty and live forever in that beauty. Talking to someone in my dreams again, laughing until I opened my eyes and sensed the warm June sunlight outside my closed curtains. Another day begins until it ends.